Thrive beyond 90 days. Have you ever felt this? You finally made progress with your English. You're no longer a beginner. You've done the hard part, those first 90 days of confusion, frustration, and self-doubt. You've pushed through it. You've practiced daily, repeated phrases, watched videos like this one, and maybe, for the first time, you actually feel like you're getting somewhere. But now, you're stuck in a new place. Not beginner anymore, but not quite fluent either. You ask yourself, what now? How do I keep going without losing momentum? What if I forget everything I've learned? Let me tell you something that might surprise you. Most people think the hardest part is getting started, but the truth is, the real challenge is staying consistent after the excitement fades, because learning English, truly becoming fluent, isn't just a 90-day challenge. It's a mindset, a lifestyle, and that's where Amit's journey gets interesting. If you watched his first 90 days, you saw how he transformed from a nervous learner into someone who could think, speak, and express himself with clarity. But what did he do after Nefri, or the first 90 days? What helped him sustain his fluency and even teach others? That's what I'm going to share with you in this video. 6 powerful habits, simple, real, and deeply effective, that helped Amit turn English into a natural part of his everyday life. So if you've come this far, don't stop now. The next phase isn't about learning more, it's about learning deeper. And I promise, by the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to not only grow in English, but to become the kind of speaker who inspires others too. Ready? Let's dive into stage 1, where we stop reviewing passively and start living English actively. But before we go there, hit that subscribe button if you're ready to build something long-term, because what comes next might just change your relationship with English forever. Stage 1, the power of active review. Tell your story, own your voice. Let me ask you something personal. What's the point of learning English if you forget what you've learned a month later? Sounds a little harsh, right? But it's the truth. And it's exactly what started happening to Amit. After 90 days of intense growth, he could speak fluently, he could hold a conversation, but slowly, quietly, tiny cracks began to show. He forgot phrases he once said perfectly. His confidence dipped during small talk, and that natural English flow he had built started slipping. So what did he do? He didn't rush forward. He stepped back and went deeper. Stage 1 of this new phase wasn't about pushing harder. It was about remembering smarter. Active review, not repetition, reflection. Each Sunday morning, Amit sat with a cup of chai, opened his notebook, and wrote, not just today, I learned 5 new words, but deeper things. I felt nervous speaking at the cafe, but I still ordered in English. I watched a movie without subtitles and understood the jokes. I avoided conversation today. Why? Then he'd retell it out loud, like he was sharing his week with a friend. Not scripted, not perfect, just honest English from his own story. Want to try it? Let's break it down. Example 1. You were late to work because of traffic. Write it down. I got stuck in traffic today. I felt stressed. I hate being late, but I took a deep breath and said, it's okay. Now say it again, out loud. Try different ways. The traffic was insane today. I was 5 minutes late, but hey, I stayed calm. Boom. You just used past tense, feeling words, and real-life English. And it came from your life. Example 2. You watched a YouTube video about cooking. Right. I watched a recipe about Italian spaghetti. I didn't understand all the ingredients, but I loved the way the chef explained it. Retell. There was this chef, really passionate, who showed how to cook Italian spaghetti. I followed some steps, and it actually worked. Why does this work? Because the brain doesn't remember what it repeats. It remembers what it relives. When you review through reflection and storytelling, you connect English to your emotions. You stop sounding like a textbook. You become the kind of speaker people actually want to listen to. Your weekly challenge. Choose one meaningful moment from your week. Write it in English, as honestly as you can. Retell it out loud in 2 or 3 different ways. Bonus: record yourself. Listen back. Grow. This is not homework. This is building fluency through your story. If you've ever said, "I forget too easily," this is your answer. If you've ever asked, "How do I speak more naturally?" this is the key. Because in the end, fluency doesn't come from perfection. It comes from personal connection. Like this video if it's giving you a new way to think. Comment below, what moment from your week would you love to retell in English? And don't forget, I'll be giving away an exclusive mini guide to help you master English over the next 90 days. Subscribe now, because in Stage 2, we're diving into a powerful technique that will train your ears and your mouth like never before. You won't want to miss it. Stage 2, find your voice. Write and think deeply in English. Let me ask you something. Have you ever spoken English, but still felt misunderstood? Not because of grammar, not because of accent, but because what you said wasn't what you meant. That's what Amit realized after 90 days of breakthrough. He could speak, he could listen, but when it came to expressing his thoughts, his real personal ideas, he felt stuck. And you know what? That's not a language problem. That's a thinking problem. Because here's the truth. If you only think in shallow sentences, you'll only speak in shallow sentences. So in Stage 2, Amit went deeper. Not with textbooks, but with his mind. He started writing every single week. Not just journaling what he did, but reflecting on why he did it. He picked one small moment from the week and wrote his thoughts about it. Like, I watched a movie today that made me cry. Why? Maybe because the main character felt forgotten, and so do I sometimes. Simple words, but powerful English, because it came from his soul. Then he wrote reviews, books, movies, podcasts, not academic essays, just what did I like? What confused me? What did I learn about life? Or myself. Every Sunday he'd write 200 to 300 words. Then, here's the real power. He'd record himself saying it out loud. His own blog, his own voice. No audience yet, just practice. But the impact, massive. Real example, he read The Alchemist. Instead of "It's a good book," he wrote, "The boy's journey reminds me of my own. I'm chasing fluency the same way he chased treasure, not knowing it's already inside me." That one sentence, it taught him metaphor, it taught him connection, it taught him how to make English personal. And the more he did it, the more he realized fluency isn't just about speaking fast, it's about thinking clearly. So let me ask you, what if you picked one podcast, one article, one video a week, and just wrote what it made you feel? What if you stopped worrying about mistakes and started discovering your own voice? This is your next level. No more copy-paste English. This is your thoughts, your feelings, your power. Write it, speak it, repeat weekly. You'll be shocked how quickly your brain starts to organize thoughts more clearly in English. Like this video if this idea feels new, but write. Comment. What was the last thing that made you feel something in English? And don't go anywhere, because in Stage 3, you'll learn how to listen like an actor and speak like you mean every word. It's about pronunciation, presence, and power. You won't want to miss it. Stage 3, speak like it matters. Real conversations and speaking reflex. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you spoke English with a real human being, not just a screen? Not repeating after a video, not rehearsing textbook phrases, but truly talking. messy, unscripted, real. That's the bridge most learners fear to cross, and that's exactly where Stage 3 begins. Amit was ready, but scared. He had done the practice. He could think in English. But whenever he imagined talking to a real person, his mind froze. What if I say something wrong? What if I forget a word mid-sentence? Sound familiar? And then something shifted. He joined a Discord group for English learners. He didn't say much at first, just listened. But one day, someone asked, "Hey, Amit, what's your favorite way to relax after a long day?" Simple question, right? But it cracked something open. He replied, I like reading fantasy books. I feel like I travel without leaving my room." That wasn't perfect English, but it was his English, and it connected. That night, someone messaged him privately, "Hey, I loved your answer. I feel the same." That moment changed everything. From then on, Amit committed to Nessa, or one real conversation a day. It didn't have to be deep. It just had to be real. He joined Facebook groups where people shared small talk prompts. He hopped onto our meetup language exchanges in his city or online if he was busy. He spoke with strangers about the weather, hobbies, favorite meals, or their weekend plans. And here's what happened. His speaking became reflexive, not perfect, but alive. Because here's the truth. You don't become fluent by talking perfectly. You become fluent by talking repeatedly, especially when it's uncomfortable. Let me ask you this. What's holding you back from speaking to one real person this week? Just one. Is it fear or the belief that you're not ready yet? Flip that thought. Speaking is how you become ready. You don't wait to feel confident. You build confidence by using your voice again and again. If this is your stage, start now. Find an English group, post a comment, say one sentence. That's all it takes to begin. Like this video if it's reminding you that English isn't a test, it's a tool to connect. Comment below. Who would you talk to in English if you weren't afraid? Let's talk about it right here. And don't go anywhere, because in a Stage 4, we'll talk about how to expand your vocabulary the smart way, not by memorizing, but by using new words in powerful, emotional stories. Stick around. Your English isn't just improving, it's becoming real. Stage 4, vocabulary that sticks. Learn words through emotion and experience. Let's be honest. How many words have you learned and forgotten just days later? You wrote them down, repeated them, maybe even used an app. But when the moment came to speak, they vanished. That's not your fault. It's the method that's broken, not your memory. And this is where Stage 4 begins. A different way to learn vocabulary from emotion, not just repetition. When Amit reached this stage, he knew something had to change. He could form sentences. He could speak clearly. But his word choices felt limited, repetitive. He couldn't find the right words to express deeper thoughts, joy, struggle, hope. So he switched his strategy completely. Instead of memorizing 100 words a week, he chose just 5 words a day. But he made them personal. Each morning, he picked 5 new English words, words that felt meaningful. Then he did something most learners never try. He turned those words into a short, emotional story. Let's say the words were resilience, comfort, doubt, sunrise, whisper. Amit would write something like this. There were mornings I wanted to give up. Doubt whispered louder than hope. But the sunrise reminded me, comfort comes after resilience. Powerful, right? Not because it's perfect English, but because it's real, connected, emotional, and when you feel the word, you never forget it. But he didn't stop there. After writing his story, Amit would read it out loud 10 times. Not mechanically. He read it like a script from a movie, with feeling, with rhythm. He was training not just his memory, but his muscle, his voice. And every night before bed, he'd write a few lines in his English journal. Nothing fancy, just a moment from his day, using the new words he had chosen. It became a ritual, a daily moment of reflection. And those words, they stayed with him. By the end of 30 days, Amit had internalized over 150 words. Not from flashcards, but from experience. Let me ask you, what if your next 5 words weren't just something you memorize, but something you live through a story? That's the key to vocabulary that sticks. When words are tied to feelings, images, your own life, they become part of you. Try it today. Pick 5 words. Create a short, personal scene using all of them. Say it out loud and write about it tonight. Comment below. What's one word that feels like you right now, and why? Like this video if this method speaks to you, and don't go anywhere, because in Stage 5, we're going to bring grammar to life, not through boring rules, but by noticing patterns in real human conversations. Stick around, the journey's only getting deeper. Stage 5. Absorb grammar naturally. Stop studying. Start noticing. Have you ever frozen in mid-sentence? Not because you didn't know what to say, but because you weren't sure if your grammar was correct. Maybe you paused, second-guessed yourself, and let the moment slip. You're not alone. Thousands of learners, maybe even you, are stuck here. Why? Because we were taught to treat grammar like math. Rules, exceptions, diagrams, endless tenses. But what if I told you? The most fluent speakers don't study grammar like that at all. They absorb it, like a melody, like the rhythm of a language that becomes part of them. And that brings us to the Stage 5, where grammar stops being a rule book and becomes a reflex. When Amit reached this stage, he made a quiet but powerful shift. He stopped memorizing grammar rules. No more present perfect versus past perfect tense. No more charts, no more flashcards. Instead, he did something most learners overlook. He listened deeply. He watched real conversations in movies, shows, podcasts, and whenever he heard something that felt new or unusual, he paused and wrote it down. For example, I've been learning English for 6 months. Wait, why not? I am learning English. That little question became a gold mine. Amit started collecting real phrases. Not textbook sentences, but the ones people actually use. I'd rather not. Let's call it a day. You know what I mean? Each one became a clue to how grammar really works. But he didn't stop at noticing. He mirrored what he heard using the shadowing method. Here's how it worked. He played a clip, just a few seconds, paused, then repeated the line out loud, mimicking the speaker exactly, tone, pace, structure, over and over, until the phrase stuck in his mouth like muscle memory. He wasn't studying grammar, he was living it. And slowly, something beautiful happened. Amit started using complex grammar without thinking. I would have gone if I had known. Had I known, I would have gone. They didn't sound like rules anymore. They sounded like him. Let me ask you, what if grammar wasn't your obstacle, but your instrument? Something you could feel in your bones instead of fearing on paper. This stage isn't about perfection. It's about patterns, about noticing, and about trusting your ear more than your rulebook. So here's your challenge. Pick a short conversation from your favorite show. Write down just 2 phrases that feel new. Shadow them, like you're training for a role in that scene. Do it for 7 days. Watch what happens. Leave a comment. What's one grammar phrase you always hear but don't quite get? Let's break it down together. Like this video if it's helping you feel less afraid of grammar. And don't go anywhere, because in Stage 6, we take all this fluency and bring it into the real world. Yes, real conversations with real people. It's time to stop practicing and start speaking. You're almost there. Let's keep going. Stage 6. Teach to learn. Deeper. Share your journey. Inspire others. You don't truly understand something until you can teach it. I used to hear that quote and smile, thinking it was just for teachers or experts. But then I met people like Amit, and something shifted, because the final and often most powerful stage of mastering English isn't about learning more. It's about giving back. And the truth is, when you share your story, you're not just helping others. You're unlocking something deeper in yourself. Let me tell you a story. Amit, after 90 intense days of learning English, thinking in it, speaking with flow, writing clearly, could have just moved on. But instead, he chose something bold. He turned the camera on and recorded a 2-minute video telling his journey. No fancy setup, no perfect grammar, just his truth. He posted it in a small Facebook group, and guess what? That one post inspired 3 people to start their own English practice, got shared across 2 more groups, and sparked conversations from strangers thanking him because his courage gave them courage. That was the moment Amit realized sharing is learning. Every time he explained how he overcame fear, every time he typed a tip to help someone new, every time he answered a beginner's question with kindness, he wasn't just helping them, he was solidifying his own mastery. This is Stage 6. Not just using English, but living with purpose through it. And it starts with tiny steps. Write a short post about what English means to you. Record your voice sharing one thing you've learned. Start a mini speaking group, even just 2 friends, once a week. Help a beginner with something you struggled with 3 months ago. You see, when you teach, your brain connects the dots in new ways. When you mentor, you remember how far you've come. When you inspire, your confidence becomes contagious. And more than anything, you become part of something bigger than yourself. Let me ask you, what if your journey, your doubts, your failures, your breakthroughs could be the exact thing someone else needs to hear today? This isn't just the end of your learning path, it's the start of your legacy. Comment below. What's one lesson you've learned in your English journey that you wish you knew earlier? If this video sparked something in you, a memory, a desire to share, hit that like button. In the previous video, I introduced you to Amit's first 90 days of self-learning English, from zero to confidence. And in the next video, I'll take you through his 90-day breakthrough journey, from competence to real English connection, something you definitely don't want to miss. This is your moment. You've come so far. Now keep the fire burning and light the way for others. Let's grow together. Final thoughts. You've made it to the end of this video, but really, this isn't the end at all. It's the beginning of something bigger, because learning English isn't about completing lessons. It's about building a lifestyle. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep moving, one small, honest step at a time. That's how real progress is made. Not overnight, but every single day. Oh, and before you go, I've created a free mini ebook just for you. It's a simple but powerful guide to help you master English over the next 90 days. Grab your copy now. You'll find the link right below in the description. If this video inspired you or gave you a fresh perspective, tap the like button. It helps YouTube share this with more learners like you. I'd also love to hear from you. Which stage are you in right now? What's the biggest challenge you're facing in your English journey? And don't forget to subscribe. I share new videos every week with practical strategies, uplifting stories, and real encouragement to keep you growing, not just in English, but in confidence. Want to go even further? Watch the next video, 90 Days of Breakthrough from Competence to Connection. You'll discover Amit's next 90-day journey. And I promise, it's something you don't want to miss. Let's make English a part of your real life. Let's grow together. You've got this. Until then, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Final thoughts.